This problem is number 15 from the Chapter 8, Section 1 review packet. The directions read, write the definition of the imaginary numbers below, then simplify. All right, so definition of imaginary numbers, right? Just remember here, we know that whoops, let me turn my pen on there. I is really the same thing as the square root of -1, right? So that's kind of like our definition. I is equal to the square root of -1. So to find these values, we know since I equals the square root of -1, you could write I equals the square root of -1 right here if you wanted to, but just know that that equals I. And now as we're going through and simplifying, we know that I squared always equals, sorry, make it so you can read it, -1. And then when we get to I to the third, that's like saying I squared times I, which is like -1 times I, or -I. I to the fourth, right? We know that could be like I squared times I squared, which I squared we said was -1. So -1 times a -1 is going to give us +1. And remember, this pattern here is just going to continue to cycle through over and over again. So some of the things we talked about in class is when we look at that exponent, we got to determine if it's an odd exponent. Remember, your answer is going to be I or -I. If it's an even exponent, I'm talking about on your eyes, right? If it's an even one, we know it's going to be -1 or +1. So looking ahead, we've got I to the 401st power. So that's odd. So we know our answer is going to be I or -I. So we'll take it here and let's just break it into two parts. We're going to say I to the 400th times I. I already know the answer is going to be I because it was an odd number here. However, I want to know, is it going to be a positive or a negative I? And that's where we look at, our 400, right? 400 is even. So we said even is going to be 1 or -1. So the difference was if it is divisible by 4, then we know it's +1. If 400 is not divisible by 4, then it's going to be -1. So in this case, it ends up being a 1. So times I gives us a positive I. All right, the second one, I to the 2708th power. So right now, I know my answer should be 1 or -1. Let's take it here and look and see, is 2708 divisible by 4? And you can just do that on your calculator if you want. Let's see here, 2708. If you want to divide it by 4, 4 goes into 27, what's 7 times? That'll be 28, so 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24, minus is 3. 7 times 4 is 28. It's 2, and we're going to bring down our 8, and that would be, what, 4 goes into 28 7 times, so 7 times 4 is 28. So it looks like it goes in a whole number of times, right? So 677, which means since it is divisible by 4, the answer to this one is 1. I to the 49th, remember that's I to the 48th times I. I to the 48th is divisible by 4, so that's like saying 1 times I, which is going to be I. And then the last one here, I to the 502nd power. Okay, so it's even again. Right? Another way that you can figure out if it's divisible by 4 is if you can cut it in half twice. Right? If I do 502 divided by 2, I get 251, which is not going to be divisible by 2 again. So this is not divisible by 4, which then means this is going to be -1. That's it for those ones. So if you have additional questions, please make sure you reach out and ask. That would be important. Thanks for watching.